Hi there, listener. You're about to experience TADPOG. Tyler and Dave play old games, and there will be plenty of game talk, but also copious amounts of crude, off-color, offensive, and immature speech. So if you are of a rather sensitive humor constitution, we're just letting you know what you're in for with this show. It has games. It has jokes. You know, just games and jokes. Take the games, take the jokes, and have a good time.
Hello, Internet, and welcome to another TADPOG podcast. It's a show that happens twice a week where two old guys play old games. It's Original Flavor Wednesday, so that means we're on that list.
What list?
That list.
That list? Whose list?
Digital Trends. We're playing...
Who are they?
They have a website, and there are games on it, and they look like a good list.
And they haven't contacted us, so we can totally slam them as much as we want. To be fair, I haven't reached out to them like I promised myself I would. I get super nervous because I'm always like, even when we were doing IGNs, I was like, I'm going to contact IGN and let them know that we're doing this podcast.
Same for Dorkly. Like, we'll contact Dorkly.
And then we started talking about cum and stuff, and I was like, I don't think that I want to reach out to these outlets. Let's keep it secret, keep it safe.
That's why the only sponsor that I think maybe they'd be down is Extreme Restraints.
A Fleshlight. Yeah, someone like that. We could straight up sell a pocket pussy on this show. Like, if there's one thing I'm confident we could sell, it's not TADPOG shirts.
Well, I haven't talked too glowingly about them because I have that Fleshlight.
They won't listen that far back. It's fine. Everybody wants to fuck their couch.
That's true. Man, I wish I could just give you petting their couch. I wish I could just give you a vagina. Just give you a nice couchy poon.
That's a weird science that I never saw. That's actually how weird science in real life turns out. It's like two guys, two preteens get together and are like, let's build the perfect woman. And then they end up just fucking their couch on a Saturday.
And fill it so full of cum that it becomes a woman. It evolves like a Pokemon.
Spark of life.
Jizz and Doritos. Who knew? We're playing down through Digital Trends Top 25 Sega Genesis games. And this week we're on 18.
I was going to look that up, and then we started talking about fucking couches, and I got sidetracked. Tyler, I believe that this is Digital Trends' 17th
ranked game.
Sega Genesis game. Mm-hmm. Sword of Vermilion.
Yeah.
Sword of Vermilion. Mm-hmm. It's an action RPG game that I had never heard of.
Mm-hmm. Same
which
here.
I feel like we should have a new intro where like as part of the disclaimer, I say that we're not game experts. I feel like that's self-evident, but for new listeners, I feel like we need to let them know up front. Hey, we like video games, but we are not experts.
We're not experts.
Industry.
We're not journalists.
No, we are literally just two guys,
two sexually repressed men who played less games than they'd like,
and record this in a blanket fort.
Yeah. Oh man, what was I going to say about something about Genesis?
I don't know.
Oh well,
the band or the console?
Something about Phil Collins. Yeah. I did watch Out of the Blue. I was like, I haven't seen Land of Confusion in a long time.
Land of Confusion? Uh-huh. Is that the second Land Before Time?
It's the prequel.
Yeah.
Because I watched that video, I had forgotten how fucking weird that video is.
Oh, yeah.
Because,
is that the one with all, Reagan Muppets and stuff?
Yeah, the really weird Muppets. And, Ronald Reagan, drowning himself in the bathtub in puppet form. And then,
I haven't thought about that in a long time. That music video used to give me nightmares as a kid.
I had nightmares. It made me have weird feelings in my stomach whenever I'd watch it. It was, man, that video.
That's how you know it was art.
Yeah. That's what experiencing art is like.
Yeah. You're not supposed to enjoy it.
But before we talk about Sword of Vermilion,
Yeah.
I'm your beard host, Tyler.
Hey, Tyler.
And I was trying to I don't have a package. What's an intro story I could tell? And I read an interesting article on the AV Club. Nick Offerman did an interview with them, and he's talking about his and his wife, Megan Mullally. They're doing a comedy tour.
Who I adore, by the way.
Oh, yeah. No, she's awesome.
Yeah, she's amazing.
I liked her in Will and Grace.
Yeah.
I love her, especially in Parks and Rec. Her character in Parks and Rec is so good.
Yeah.
But they're doing a...
You said the AV Club. Sorry to interrupt, but I have to interject. They're...
I think I know where you're going.
Oh, do you? We need to be on their podcast.
Oh, that's not where I thought you were going.
Because they are one of the few actual well-known media outlets that even fucking talks about podcasts.
Oh, okay.
So if anyone's got any connections over at the AV Club, hook us up because we are very interested in expanding our audience.
Yep. We're looking to not have normal jobs anymore.
Absolutely. If we could afford 4 more blankets to put in this room, we could really improve the
living on
sound quality.
That's all we need. I want more blankets in here.
Little known fact, we spend all of our Patreon money on blankets,
Just blankets.
at Walmart, Sam's Club.
Because that blanket behind you, I've had that one since early high school.
That explains its rigidness.
Yep.
Very rigid.
I can just place it over the door frame. It's fine.
It stands like a ghost by itself. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
So where did you think I was going with the AV Club?
'Cause remember on the Facebook group, you and Phil were talking about, are there actual AV clubs anymore?
Oh, right. In high schools and
Yeah.
stuff. There was barely one when I was in high school.
We just had the video class that did the morning announcements and stuff.
Class news and stuff like
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Just the two of the most uncharismatic kids in rotation that you'll ever see, just blandly reading the school announcements.
We had a charismatic guy, and I think that's why, I honestly think that's why the school news channel existed, was because this guy wanted to do it, and someone recognized, oh, he's actually pretty good at this.
Oh, man, all the kids were so bad. Brandon did it in middle school. Brandon was pretty good
Brandon
at it.
of Axelay fame?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I could see him being good at that.
He and two of the other students did oh, man, if I could ever find this footage, they did because we went to North Marshall Middle School, so they did a North Marshall parody of the SNL skit where it's Will Ferrell, Chris Kattan, and Jim Carrey, the Baby Don't Hurt Me, and they're bobbing their heads.
Night of the Roxbury.
Yeah. So they did the three of them. Brandon in the middle did a Night of the Roxbury parody where they're walking around North Marshall.
So they did what every kid does. They just did it in front of a video camera.
Yeah, they went ahead and recorded it.
That's brilliant. That's all it takes. That's what we do here with these microphones.
Yeah.
Normally we would talk about fucking
People
a couch.
talk about fucking
but-
couches.
right.
We just record it.
Exactly.
But I was reading that AV Club article interview with Nick Offerman, and
Yeah.
they're doing a tour called The Summer of '69, no apostrophe. So it is basically them doing a comedic tour about their sex life and things about their marriage, and because in it he talks about they hate flying, so they both just get in their car with the minimum things, and they're just driving city to city doing this. So I really want to go if I can go to this tour. But
Are they coming to Nashville or something close?
I haven't looked yet because I just read this article yesterday. But he was talking about all the things that they do because he's 46 and she's 57, I think. And they were talking about all the projects that they do, but they're also just they love sex and they're not I guess they're not weird. I don't know. The article was he didn't want to spoil whatever's in the show, but he was talking about how, yeah, we love comedy. We love, being on and performing, but at home, we're just boring because our heroine, once we get home, is sitting at the dining room table that I made, and we put together a huge puzzle and listen to audiobooks. That is our fucking heroine. Because I was like, okay, that's awesome.
That sounds pretty nice.
Yeah. And then he talks more about then somebody else was like, you could probably turn those puzzle pictures that you make and sign the back of them and put them up for auction and stuff like that. And he's like, yeah, that'd be a good idea. But then it becomes another project. We don't want to do projects. So as soon as they finish the puzzle, they just break it down and put it back up because it's relaxing to listen to a book and that's it.
Yeah.
So it made me think. So it's because we're both in our 30s.
You and I, you mean.
You and I. So it made me think, what are some...
We should have sex.
We should have
With
sex.
a couch.
Listen to an audiobook, do puzzles,
Do puzzles.
and have sex.
let's wait till we're in our 60s. Can that be our retirement plan?
Fine.
You and I will move to Vermont. I hear it's very nice. I saw it in Road Rash 2. We'll open a bed and breakfast, and we'll just listen to audiobooks and do puzzles.
Eat Ben and Jerry's, just get fat and fucking do puzzles.
Yep.
That's what TADPOG will become. 2 fat fucks do puzzles.
We could probably make that a podcast.
You can make that a podcast now.
Yeah, let's do it.
But it made me think, like, okay, since turning 30, getting older, what do I have any boring old people habits or activities already?
Okay, what'd you come up with? I'm assuming that you do.
Because, well, one, I haven't gotten to do it nearly as much as I used to, but like just going for a walk and listening to audiobooks. That's what, at least in the old house before this one, when I wasn't working, so I had more time, I would lift for an hour and then go walk and listen to a book for an hour. And then in DC, I would do it for multiple hours. Like, I loved going up to the seminary, had this big circular road where all like the buildings and stuff were for all the classes, and I would just walk that forever. I listened to Steve Martin's audiobook in like two days, 2 sessions.
It's a good
just sit there and
audiobook.
walk. It's really good. So I guess walking, and I guess I do like puzzles because I don't feel like the Professor Layton games are really geared toward
Me,
a younger audience.
sure.
Yeah, well, I consider, like, if you're gonna play an old person type game, I feel like Professor Layton is kind of close.
Professor Layton is the Cracker Barrel of video games.
And I feel like Phoenix Wright, it has its comedy elements, but like it's also a lawyer simulator.
Right. And it's a lot more animu than Professor Layton is, I think.
Yeah, but I know Josh and Nicole, they love puzzles.
Yeah.
Oh, they fucking love puzzles. So I remember doing them with my grandma, but I was never a big, like, actual puzzle piece person.
Really? I did a bunch of, believe it or not, dolphin puzzles when I was a kid.
What?
And whales. I did I remember framing a whale puzzle that I completed with my mom one summer.
Do you have any old person habits, activities
I do.
that you enjoy doing?
I do.
Yeah.
I'm Dave, your bespectacled host, and I brought one of my hobbies. I like to just go ahead and...
Drinking soda from the 90s?
Yeah, this is a surge.
Man.
I'm sure you could tell from that sound. This is courtesy of St. Zach. I've saved this since he came in to visit us.
Oh.
And I have not tasted Surge since. This is definitely an old man activity because, right, this shit hasn't been available since the 90s. Well, that certainly is not a diet beverage.
No, it's not.
I forgot how syrupy these things taste like. Would you like some?
I cannot. Well, see, I drink mine that he gave me.
Oh, yeah.
But it's also like, because he found that at a random gas station, brought it to us, and then after I moved here, I went to the dollar store up the road. They sell Surge there.
Oh,
they have
really?
a big thing if they sell Surge.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, oops. I actually, the only reason I brought this wasn't for an intro. It was because my Monster energy drinks were not cold enough yet. So I decided to double down.
Yeah. What's the calorie content on that can?
Only 230 calories. That's okay. I'm good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm still within budget. Old man? I don't know. Yeah, I'm sure there's plenty of old man things that I do.
Yeah.
I just can't think of them right now. I'm sure I have. You could ask Nikki. I probably have sex like an old man. It's probably something that.
I don't need it, but I want to try Viagra or Cialis.
No, don't do that.
I just want to, because I've been reading about like Viagra making like your cock so hard it's like a diamond tip drill. Like, okay, what's that?
Where are you hearing these things?
Internet.
Where specifically on the internet?
Our sex.
Bodybuilding.com.
Diamond cocks.
I don't know. I mean, I don't really feel like I do a whole lot of old man things because I work and then I play video games and I do this podcast and that's like kind of just the things that I do. Like it's very neatly like sliced into those 3 sections. I do like old movies, so maybe that counts. I like watching like
how old?
60s, 70s, like that kind of stuff.
I really have trouble with that.
Do you
really have trouble with that?
It kind of depends. I say that like I'm a liar essentially. It's not. It's very specific directors, and it's not like just as a whole because there's a lot of shit.
Because you like Romero, don't you?
Yeah, I like Romero. And I mean, Leone and stuff like that. And
Taya Leone.
Taya Leone.
Yeah.
I mean, yes. Yeah, I won't deny that. I'm a Taya Leone fan, even though I hear that she's kind of on the crazy
Oh,
side.
I believe that. I saw The Naked Truth. That was a good show.
No, I'm not familiar with The Naked Truth.
Because that was her, I'm pretty sure that was her like NBC show she had for a few years.
Oh, okay.
When she was like the temporary Hollywood it girl around the time she did Bad Boys.
Yeah, that's what I know her from. That's where I had a crush on her from, I should say. Mm-hmm. I guess like old classic television too. Like that's very much an old man thing. I know we talked about Nick at Night last time, but like that is really like, man, I love some old, predictable 1960s
it's
television.
weird. Like Josh and I have had this conversation about how we can watch like edgy comedians and enjoy their stand up, but also like you switch gears to something like Cheers. That's like at first it's like, oh, okay, this is fucking lame.
Yeah.
But it doesn't take long before like you just settle into that and you're there and you're in like a whole different mind frame where it's good and it's humorous and you just like,
oh, I can't
click
believe
right
that
in.
coach. I can't believe it.
he's so dumb.
He's so dumb. But he doesn't lose his job because of his personal relationship with Sam. None of the other
Not until he
employees
dies.
seem to mind. Yeah. I get it. Yeah, I mean, I'm totally into that stuff. I honestly wish I had cable for classic television.
Yeah.
But then again, we've talked about how Nick at Night just pretty much shows
Now
stuff
it's-
that like when we were kids. So that does make me feel like an old person.
Because even when we were kids, like Dick Van Dyke and I Love Lucy are from our age to whenever those were new shows is bigger than the gap from kids
Us
who are
now.
now our age then
Right.
and the shows that they're showing 10-year-old shows as opposed to like 30-year-old shows.
Well, I mean, that well is going to go dry, right? I mean, I think that's just like a sign of, oh, we don't have enough like good shows from the previous years. I say just keep running Dick Van Dyke and I Love Lucy and
Taxi.
all that stuff. Fucking Taxi, dude. I love Taxi. Taxi was on Hulu. I don't know if it still is or not because
Damn.
I no longer subscribe to Hulu, but it might be worth going back to.
Yeah,
Just
I
for
need to
Taxi.
see.
Taxi's
Man, Taxi was
a
so
wonderful
good.
show with a great, like an amazing theme song, and like Taxi's just such a really,
I mean, it's
really good
it's
show.
the only real dose you can get of Andy Kaufman.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, you can find his stand-up and stuff, but if you want consistently Andy Kaufman, I mean,
It's kind of a
you gotta do
bummer though
Taxi.
because it's like, oh, he hated doing this.
Yeah.
So it's always this like, it's this weird feeling.
Because Taxi got canceled like suddenly, right? There was like a big thing about it.
I don't know.
Because I remember it was an old SNL. Like they loved Taxi, so like Lorne Michaels wanted to give them a more proper send off. So he had the whole cast of Taxi on SNL, and Andy Kaufman was there and looked really, really uncomfortable the whole time. He's like with everyone on SNL.
I mean, that doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
Whether he was truthfully uncomfortable or not, who knows?
Mary Lou Henner's just too hot. You have to be uncomfortable. She's still so fucking hot.
You think so? I thought you
Yeah.
were being sarcastic.
No,
When you
no,
said
man.
that. I
Love Mary Lou Henner.
never found the appeal.
Fuck, man.
I've heard people say that, and I always assumed it was just like
John Turley's on board. John, I know you're on board with some Mary Lou Henner.
because she's a redhead.
Yeah, pale and a redhead. Yep.
That like check.
Yeah.
And usually that's like those are like two check boxes for me too. But I don't know. There's something about her that just I don't find her attractive.
Yeah. See, do you like Catherine Hahn?
I do.
See, I love Catherine Hahn. I feel like they're sort of cast from the same mold.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. There's some. I don't know. There's just for some reason I don't find Mary Lou attractive.
Because she was in, she was a recurring character on Brooklyn Nine-Nine, like last year.
Really?
And I was still like,
That's a surprisingly
it's
good
like,
show.
yeah,
by the
bring
way.
it. Oh, I didn't expect it to be so
Oh, yeah.
good, but it's so
Yeah, I
fucking
know.
good.
Nikki started watching it, and it was like out of the blue.
Andy Samberg, okay, this is good.
I
This
know.
is good.
That's exactly what I did. I was like, oh, God, I can't believe you're about to watch this. And then, like, the first episode, I'm like, yeah, okay, I'm on board. This is good.
It's one of the shows, like, I knew what day it came out, and the next day, like, on Hulu or whatever, like, I was on it. Like, really enjoyed Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
I'm behind on
Terry Crews is surprisingly,
I know,
like, awesome.
I know. Brooklyn Nine-Nine also sounds like it could be a porn series.
Brooklyn 6-9.
Right.
That's the
And
porn parody.
Brooklyn's
Brooklyn's
the porn
6'9".
star. Right. Brooklyn's apostrophe S 6'9". With the apostrophe, it comes back around. I guess I kind of want to talk about the thing that I'm going to go to this weekend.
Oh, yes, please.
And it's kind of a funny story. We got a random message from the Arcade Video and Game Room Expo 2016 in Rosemont, Illinois. And this is like the main reason I want to talk about this is because I want to brag a little bit about our show. Like, I feel like our listeners need to know that we have been upgraded for the first time ever.
Yeah.
For the first time ever.
Unless this is a scam.
Unless I'm going to get murdered in Rosemont, Illinois. Unless I've been catfished. We got,
Get up there and it's 580.
oh, no. Why'd you do that to me? Now I'm going to drive 6 hours the whole time. I'm going to be thinking, oh, God, I'm going to get murdered.
Where can I get away with murdering somebody? Chicago.
Detroit? No, 2 on the nose. Chicago. Yeah.
They'll never come to Detroit.
So, for the first time ever, TADPOG got fucking press passes.
Yeah.
Like, this is like, we got real, like, we've made it. We've made it.
Yeah.
Next, first it's this next it's going to be PAX East. We're just going to walk
That is
in.
on the list. It's
we're
next.
just going to walk right the fuck in. And
E3, just
we're
walk
there. So I just thought it was cool. That's all. I just thought it was cool.
No, it is very cool. When I saw it, I was like, what?
Yeah, it was a fluke.
I missed the original message, so then I got the, oh, sure, that's fine. I was like, what's fine? What?
Well, yeah, because I asked for press passes because we got a message about the convention, and my immediate response was, "Oh, that sounds cool. Can we get press passes?" Just thinking, A, it does not hurt to ask. It fucking never hurts to ask.
Yeah.
And B, it's not gonna fucking happen. So like there's no like getting hopes up or anything like that. It's just kind of like, oh yeah, let's just throw that out there. And there is a C, and that is I wanted to keep our message responses to 100%.
Yep.
So, ooh.
Yeah, Facebook analytics.
Oh, I just let that cat out of the bag. Cut to when this episode publishes, and we have 59 messages.
Hi.
So I'm gonna go ahead and elect you, Tyler, to be on the front line.
High patrol.
Yeah, high patrol. And sure enough, like a couple weeks later, I thought it was just.
When I saw the gap of time.
I just thought it completely died. I heard back, and they're like, "Yeah, we can do that. Just give us a list of the names."
List?
Okay.
Send them 200
Sure.
names.
Yeah. I was curious, like, what's the limit of your generosity? Because it's generosity. They like went to tadpog.com and they were like, oh man, these guys are clearly special gentlemen. And we should cut them some free passes. They need this.
It's fine. We'll take your
Yeah,
pity.
absolutely. We'll take your pity.
We'll take a pity view. It's fine.
Yeah, we'll be the couch. So I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
I'm going up there with Rhythm Master Archivist Cute Butt, and hopefully when we come back, we can record an episode about it. Tell you all about it.
That'd be awesome.
I wish that you could go. I really, really wish that you could go.
If we hadn't had that big chunk of time, I could have went. But then
know.
it's like, oh sure, you can come in 2 days.
2 days, yeah. There wasn't a lot of time. We had to scramble.
Yeah.
So I feel bad about that, but
Not your fault.
but we're gonna come back and we're gonna have
glad.
we're gonna let you know what happened.
I'll give Paul a mask of my face.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah,
I'll have it printed at work.
We'll get a shitty plaster facsimile he can wear like a helmet.
Speaking of work, my intro continues. Wow. By the way, listener, neither of us are really jazzed about Sword of Vermilion. That's why this is going up forever.
Spoilers.
That's why this intro has been, I don't know, I'd say somewhere about 30 minutes.
24.
Oh, okay, I'm close. I got in trouble at work yesterday for Pokemon Go. And this is why. I was sitting at my desk and a coworker came in and said, there's a Squirtle at the corner of 9th and Monroe, which is just like maybe 50 feet from where I sit. And I was like, oh, I had just gotten back from, here's what I do on my breaks at work. I take 2 15-minute breaks at work, and I turn on Pokemon Go, and I walk I walked for 7.5 minutes in one direction, and I turn around and walk back to work. Trying to hatch those eggs and just hitting up the Pokestops that I can.
Yeah.
I've got the route figured out and everything. So I had just gotten done with that 15-minute break. I sit down and the coworker comes in and says, "There's a Squirtle." It's like, well, fuck, I don't want to pass up on a Squirtle. And
Do you have to clock in and out?
Not for break. For lunch I do. But like for breaks, it's not a big deal. So I said, and this is where like I fucked up. I said, well, I just got back from a break, so I shouldn't do it. And she said, it's only gonna take a few minutes. It's only gonna take a couple seconds. It's like right at the corner. It's a Squirtle.
Are you Chicken McFly?
Exactly. I know, exactly. What are you calling me, chicken? So I'm like, you're right. It's a Squirtle. You're right. I gotta catch it. It's a Squirtle. So we're walking out the back door, and she mentions to another guy in the office who plays Pokemon Go, and she's like, Squirtle at the corner. No arm twisting on his account. It was just like, he just got up. Yeah, all right, we're on it. So the three of us walk out to catch this Squirtle, and we walk about, I don't know, halfway to the corner. And then we notice that our boss is standing at the back door yelling something. And well, here's where my like dumb factor kicks in like 100%. He's yelling.
There's a Squirtle. Come on.
I think he's joking. So I just smile and nod at him, just like a dumb idiot. I'm just like, I get it. Yeah, you're making fun of us because we're playing. I thought he was making fun of us because we were all going to get Squirtle. No, he was fucking mad that we all left work to go catch Squirtle, which in hindsight makes complete sense.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my story about how I got in trouble for playing Pokemon. He was pretty pissed. So, we don't do that anymore.
Damn.
So long story short, if you haven't kicked into the Patreon yet, I strongly urge that you do.
We need a safety net.
Because I'm about to lose my job to a fucking casual mobile game.
Because I very frequently walk to the bathroom I always play, and then if I see something on my radar that I want, I will have to go check. Like, I'll walk into two different, like, 20 to 15 degree freezers and see, okay, is it in here? Is it in here? No one's leaving my phone on here. Go to the other room where no one is. Be like, is it in here?
So you're discreet about it.
Yeah.
You're not a fucking dumb idiot like I am, who's just like, thumbs up to the boss. No, don't worry. Don't worry. We are going to get this Squirtle.
I could probably get away with it most of the time. If I'm quick about it, they probably wouldn't say anything in the kitchen if I'm not busy.
Yeah.
But
well,
depends on who the boss there that day is, because I have a lot of fucking bosses.
Mona's the boss. You know.
Who was the boss of Mona?
Back to Nick at Night. You want to talk about Sword of Vermilion?
Sure.
I feel like we owe it to our listeners who tune in, possibly for video game talk.
Games.
Possibly, maybe.
Do you hear that, Dave?
I do hear that. It's the sound of me cashing my last paycheck.
What the fuck are you doing?
It's the sound of my tormentor, my eternal tormentor, Squirtle. Which of course,
at least you didn't get there and then throw one Pokeball and he breaks out of it and runs away.
I did catch him. So I will.
Hey, man, that's a win.
Yeah. Even if I had to walk back and my boss had been like, "You're fired," I'm like, "No, doesn't matter. Look at this. I'm only like 18 captures away from involving this motherfucker."
Yeah, I'm still criminally far away from a war turtle.
Oh, don't even get me started. If anyone from work's listening, I'm just kidding. Please don't fire me. Yes, I do hear the sounds of me sobbing as Squirtle pries my livelihood away from me, from my soft white underbelly.
No, Dave, catch them all.
Which, of course, ushers in a segment, which we like to call Dave Reads from Wikipedia. Okay, guys, Sword of Vermilion, or as it's known in Japan, Vermilion. That's what it's called. It is an action role-playing game developed by Sega AM2 and published by Sega for the Mega Drive console in 1989. It was released in 1991 in North America and Europe. It was the first console exclusive game designed by Yu Suzuki. The game is part of the Sega Genesis collection. I love how you're yawning. We are already bored with the game talk. I get it. I do.
I learned it. I took Kenna to Chuck E. Cheese the other day.
Yeah.
Which the first time she went, she thought she loved the animatronics. She wasn't scared.
Really?
She loved the lights. She was all good until like Chuck E. Cheese walked out. And when Chuck E. Cheese got close
the
to
guy
us,
in the suit, you mean?
Yeah, the guy in the suit. Like she started shake. She leaned back into me and she started shaking. And I was like, he doesn't have to come over here. Okay.
You're like,
no, daddy, no, daddy, no, daddy.
Kenna,
it's okay, he's not coming over here.
This is where a kid can be a kid, Kenna. If you don't do it here, where can you do it?
Immersion therapy. Get 4 more Chuck E. Cheeses over here. I'm going to cut this bullshit right now.
You must face your fears. This is Chuck E. Cheese boot camp.
Walk into the lion's den, 2-year-old.
Do you know someone got abducted from here when this was a showbiz? Just whisper that.
You look cute with the shaved head. It's fine. Don't worry about it. But they had Chuck E. Cheese smart facts.
What?
And
what is that?
Yeah, like on the between sets, they'll show like little videos and stuff like that. And one of it is
like
Chucky
trivia?
as a kid on the computer. And he's like, I was looking on the internet and I found something interesting. We yawn to cool off our brains. It's like,
What?
Okay. So apparently like that yawning reflex, if your temperature in your brain gets too high, you yawn and it cools it off.
Like an exhaust fan? Like our mouth is just a computer exhaust fan?
Yep. And that and most of the time when we get tired, our brains get hot. You believe this thing I saw at Chuck E. Cheese.
I don't think we should get our science facts from Chuck E. Cheese.
Tony, fact check that.
Actually, I am 100% on board. Please, let's get our impresario Tony, our scientist.
Anyone who is a scientist or a Chuck E. Cheese expert, get on that.
Tyler, Sword of Vermilion is about the son of Eric, who is the king of Excalabria. Excalabria.
Excalabria?
That's the name of their country.
Excalabria?
Excalabria. Who takes on a quest of revenge to defeat Sarkhan and free the world of Vermilion from evil. So that's it. I can go on. I'll go on. The quest consists of traveling to towns and villages, battling creatures to gain experience, and fighting items such as swords, shields, and armor, as well as many other items such as herbs and candles.
Doing the exact same shit 14 times in a row.
Yeah. Boss monsters take the form of larger, stronger creatures, which are integral to the story. Fighting boss monsters takes place in a side view of the battle where magic cannot be used. The titular Sword of Vermilion, Tyler, I'm sure you were wondering, is the most powerful weapon at the end of the game.
Oh, okay, this game.
It's just tough.
It is tough. It is tough.
And I want to say right up front that I probably would have enjoyed this game as a kid.
I feel like, because I did not like this. I thought this was awful. But I also have to recognize this game, sure, we got it in 91, but it came out in Japan in 89.
Right.
So this game, I mean, it's, because when you look at it, like, okay, this is from the same era of gaming as Chrono Trigger, Earthbound, Final Fantasy VI.
Kind of.
Like, you look at the RPGs of this era, of the 16-bit era, like, this just looks like garbage. And I don't know. I know Sega's not the place for RPGs. Super Nintendo squarely owns RPGs.
Absolutely.
So I mean, Sega had some good stuff.
Sega's had great sports games. Like if that's your bag, like that's the console you wanted.
But like Phantasy Star 4, fucking great RPG. I'm ready to get to that. All the Shining Force games, oh my god. But this game, unless you came into it early, and this is an early experience, you can't play anything else from this era and go back to this without it being like, fuck.
Because it is an RPG. It is essentially the structure of an NES, a Nintendo Entertainment
It reminded
System
me so much of the
RPG.
Ultima series on the
Yes,
NES.
because here's the formula. It starts out, you have to find a ring. And to find the ring, you have to leave the town, enter a dungeon, clear the dungeon, kill a boss, you get the ring. And then you find out that you have to find the second ring. In order to get the second ring, you have to go to a second village, go to a second dungeon, clear the dungeon, kill a second boss, get the ring.
Yep.
Then you find out about a third village. I mean, it's, you know what I mean?
Yep.
It's like very much like, here's the thing you got to do. You're going to do it probably like 8 times, and then you're done with the game.
I know there are 14 towns in the game, so I
really?
assume like you have to do this 14 times.
I didn't play that long. I played for maybe about 2.5 hours. If you're curious about how this game plays, I urge you to check out the stream I did on Twitch.
Yeah.
Just search for TADPOG. If you're not interested in that, but you want to see like an epic Twitch fail, I do record like the first 9 minutes with the microphone muted. So if you're into that, also
You meant to do that. It was good.
yeah, as a goof,
It's Andy Kaufman stuff that you were doing.
as an additional goof, I also left the box art up of Road Rash 2. So a whole bunch of things happened that are really super funny that I totally
You're
intended
like
to do.
Mr. Bean of Twitch streams. That's great.
That's what they call me. Oh, and then they're like, oh, no, not because they're funny, just because you remind me of Mr. Bean. You just look like Mr. Bean.
You look like Rowan Atkinson.
So sorry
You
about
don't look
that.
anything like Mr. Bean. Oh, but this game, man, it reminds me so much of Ultima Quest of the Avatar. So fucking much.
Speak about that, because the only Ultima game I've ever played is Ultima Online.
Yeah, because Ultima Quest of the Avatar, I only played this game because a friend of my dad's used to own a service master business. And he would go in, of course, clean up after fires and things like that. And he got to keep everything that he got out of the houses. So one time he had a complete NES set that was super nice.
I thought you were going to say, that's how we got my sister.
So I remember when I went over there, I saw it, and I was like, oh my God, can I have that? And he's like, okay, sure, you can have all the games. And it had standard stuff, except for one game I'd never heard of that was inside the NES, and that was Ultima Quest of the Avatar. And I tried playing it, because it starts off like, it gives you a big quiz that you take, and depending on what you say in the quiz is what class you start out as. So you can kind of tool it to what class you want to be. Like, if you want to play easy mode or hard mode, like if you're hard mode, play as a shepherd. Easy mode, play as a paladin, and then you get various things in between.
I'm glad to hear that Shepherd is a class in the game, because it is a skill. Shepherding is a skill in Ultima Online.
See, that makes sense, because it's the classic medieval world, very clunky menu, the same poorly animated people walking in place, saying obtuse things, with very obtuse goals that you need a instruction guide to know what the fuck you're doing. And dungeons in it are the first-person view. And you have to have a candle or a light source, or everything's pitch black.
In Ultima 5,
In Ultima,
Oh,
yeah. So
interesting. So this isn't...
so much. When you get in a battle, it goes to an overhead screen, like you go into a separate battle screen. It's still turn-based. It's not
I gotcha.
active like Sword of Vermilion is.
Right.
But like I could tell, they heavily took things from Ultima.
I gotcha. Okay. That sheds new light on it, because a lot of this stuff I thought was new. I thought that Sword of Vermilion.
That's why
hadn't
it
been
doubly did not impress me, because I was like, this is just, they had this on the NES and you're repackaging it with slightly better graphics and sound.
1989.
It's
That's
still
a
it's still
mantra
89.
of us, because like Herzog Zwei, we were all like 1989. Got to remember that.
So that's because I wanted to like, okay, I don't like this, but I see why I don't like this. What does everyone else think? And the videos online of people being positive all started with, this was the first RPG I ever played. This was the first action RPG I ever played. So like, okay, that is why you like this game. Because if you played anything else that is like a year later, like you're not going to enjoy this as much.
It was received well when it came out.
Yeah.
And I get that. Like, I mean, it was received like very, very, very well when it came out. I mean, like review scores for this game are high 80 percentile to mid 90 percentiles. I don't know why I said percentile weird on that second one.
Percentiles.
They're like a segment of a lentil bean. That's a percentile.
It's a percentile.
And I kind of get that, because I really do think that if I had played this game in 1989, I would have been impressed. Something about this game feels like old school pen and paper D&D.
Yeah, I can see that.
And like, so me not really having a lot of experience with the Ultima games. I don't know if they had that feel.
Oh, definitely.
But I mean, this was like when
They
I was
feel like AD&D.
yeah, and that's what I mean, right? Like this is like to me, it felt like a very like a 1980s D&D session.
Because in Ultima Quest the Avatar, the point is you have like the 7 heavenly virtues, and you have to go from dungeon to dungeon exemplifying these virtues. And once you max it out, you then become the Avatar, and you can go beat the game. And like one cool D&D-esque element is there is a evil artifact you get pretty early on called like the Skull. I think Josh has talked about this before.
Yeah, I remember him mentioning.
Whenever you can just enter a battle, you use the skull, wipes out all the enemies, you get tons of gold, you get tons of experience, but it wears away all your virtues. So as long as you're using this item to kill people, you can't become the Avatar. You have to put it away and not use it.
That seems pretty cool.
So yeah.
I don't think there was anything like that in Sword of Vermilion.
Nope.
Like I mean, that sounds like a really cool kind of like consequence.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's take a moment and talk about the gameplay. Because
Yeah.
the gameplay was new to me. Because it felt like it combined a lot of different elements. Because there's like 4 main different modes. There's like when you're in a village, talking to NPCs, buying equipment, doing your village stuff.
That's very standard RPG. There.
Overhead view, right. You go around, you talk to NPCs. The menu,
Oh man, I hate a separate sub menu for talking.
I know. This game made me like really appreciate Final Fantasy's games because it's like they really Squaresoft like streamlined the press a button and that button will do everything. This is your action button. If you press it when you're near an NPC, they will talk to you. If you press it near an item, you will grab it. But like this Sword of Vermilion was from an age where it's like go up to a person, a chest, an item, anything, hit the button, and a menu pops up.
It's Sword of Vermilion is like 10 different options.
Yeah, talk, open, search, take. I mean, it's a whole bunch of different
magic.
options. Yeah.
Like it was. Oh, so I hate like up the menu. Okay, talk. Or just this, like, where you search for things, go up to a random space, open the sub-menu, search, because then I never know, like, I'm going to have to do this all around. I don't know exactly which square it is I have to check. Like, oh, man. Man, that is one way to immediately turn me off to a game.
Okay. I agree. I thought it was, I mean, at first I thought it was kind of, it's weird because I thought it was kind of cool because it's like, oh, look at all the different options. And then it took me like maybe 30 seconds and I was like, oh, it's all the same things that you can do in like Final Fantasy game, but it's just you have
There are
to
10
select
options, or you're going to use 2 of them 80% of the time.
And also I think it's fair to, I feel like I need to point out the very first RPG I ever played on a console was Final Fantasy 3. So like that's when I woke up. You know, I came online at Final Fantasy 3. So like a lot of the games prior to
Anything
that,
that's older is hard to do.
it's very hard for me,
especially with RPGs.
very hard. And like my second one was Secret of Mana, and then my third one was Chrono Trigger. So it's like I've got this like clump, and my fourth was Final Fantasy 4. These are just Dave facts. I'm just throwing out Dave facts if anyone's interested. My point is,
I lost my virginity to like a high tier porn star. Yeah. So then it's just,
no, I mean that's a very funny statement because obviously that didn't happen. But I imagine it's like, yeah, if that happened, like I mean, you can't like normal sex is like not in your future.
I lost my virginity to Lisa Ann. So going back,
I'll put that in the show notes
Sort of-
because I don't know who she is.
oh, you don't know who Lisa Ann
No.
is? Oh man,
I know who Lisa Marie Presley is.
they're pretty similar.
I know who Brooklyn
They both
6ix9ine
probably
is.
blew Michael Jackson, so that's fine. No, Lisa Ann is like the quintessential MILF. She's been in the business forever. She's still super hot. She knows how to have sex. So that's my example of like who you would have sex with that would like ruin it forever.
I see.
Like,
I see. The sex ruiner.
yeah, sex ruiner.
she-
That's what she's often called.
She's the skull of Ultima 5, is what you're saying.
She wears away your virtues.
All right. So that's one mode of the game. The other mode is when you leave town, you enter to a first-person point of view. And it's kind of like exploration mode, I guess you would call it, where you kind of like wander through either wilderness or a dungeon. anytime you're just walking around outside of town, you're in this first person mode, which is, I thought, reminiscent of the old D&D computer games.
Yeah.
Which I never really had a problem with. But it's weird to me that the game like shifts from mode to mode to mode for all these different things.
Yeah, it's the overworld map. Because if you get a map for the area, then the map is in the upper corner, and that's like a very, very basic like stick figure on a path with a bunch of trees.
Yeah, I honestly thought the map was cool because it was like a mini map. And it's like, that's
you
a thing.
cannot do shit without that.
No, I mean, you'd have to draw it out, which I mean, I guess you could. And but I mean, I honestly thought that was awesome because like whenever I would get the map and it would reveal the area that I'm in, it was an empowering feeling because it's like, oh, I got this now.
Yeah, I can play the game.
Right. Yeah, exactly. But I mean, I thought it was cool because it's like a mini map is like something that we just expect now.
Yeah.
So it's really cool to see a mini map because that's essentially what it is.
It's flying around on the blackjack in Final Fantasy VI. Like I'm just looking at the mini map. Like I'm not even looking at the rest of the map.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. And it's like, what was it? I think in Final Fantasy 4/2. What you have to like pause in order to see it. So it's like, I like that about Sword of Vermilion. It's like they don't make you go through unnecessary menus to see what you need to see. Because it easily could have been like, hit the start button and see where you
go
are
to map.
Exactly. And then like constantly going back and forth.
Yeah.
So I thought that was cool. And as you move in first person, your representation moves on the mini map. I really do think that's neat.
I don't know when the first Phantasy Star came out. I know Phantasy Star 4 was on Genesis.
Right.
I assume the first one was on the the Master System.
Yeah, I assume so too.
But they had the Phantasy Star collection for Game Boy Advance that I bought because I'd never played the first 3. So I popped that in, tried to play Phantasy Star 1, and the whole game was basically this first person view, but just like so shitty. Just like so shitty it was unplayable to me.
So what made it shitty?
At this level, first person perspective, I cannot follow it. Just like turn around, everything looks the same.
Yeah.
Like I have trouble. What direction am I in?
Sure.
Where am I going? Like I can't do it.
It is tough. Like in Sword of Vermilion, I wouldn't have been able to finish the first dungeon without the minimap.
Yeah.
Like I just wouldn't have because everything does look the same. And I think that's by design. I think it's like I mean, obviously it's by design, but I think it's like to save on memory, first of all, in the cartridge, because it's like, well, if everything if we can just repeat the same piece of
everything,
data,
it's all it's black and white. It's
Right.
black and white brick in every dungeon.
Which,
What do you think about buying a bunch of candles?
okay, so I think that's cool.
Yeah,
I do, and that's the part that reminded me of old school pen and paper dungeon crawling, because it's like it's weird, and maybe it's just because the way we played D&D, like when I was younger, like we used to play D&D where it's like it's a dungeon delving game, and it's like that's the focus.
It's
like,
Diablo 1.
yeah, essentially, where it's like make sure you like it was really really important to make sure you had all your supplies and you write down your supplies because you're going to use them, and the idea of
That's what instilled the hoarding all your good items and games.
Maybe
behavior.
Maybe that is what has dictated my behavior up into my adult life. But it reminded me of that. So I like the fact that you had to buy candles and lanterns in Sword of Vermilion in order to see underground. Like I thought it was a cool thing because it's like the first time I went into a dungeon, I didn't know that. So I go into the dungeon and it's dark. I can wander around in the dungeon in the dark if I want to.
You get the frame motion like you're moving.
Yeah, or like I could see myself on the mini map moving, where it's like, okay, I'm moving. If I really wanted to, I could stumble around, I guess.
Yeah. I don't know if you could even find the old man that's in there if you don't.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, I don't know.
If you can't see him, because he's just chilling down there. He doesn't give a fuck.
What did you think about the candles?
I didn't like it at all. Ultima's the same way.
Oh, really?
I didn't. It just bothered me. It's just like I'd rather just if I could buy one item that's good for a whole dungeon, as opposed to just like okay, I have to buy a whole bunch, and if I run out at the bottom, so I have to buy way too much to make sure I don't.
And your inventory space is limited.
Yeah, so I don't like. I mean, I guess I'm spoiled in the fact that I don't like that shit like that. I like it in D&D. I don't like it in video games.
Well, we don't game like that. I mean,
Well, Ramon's last game we did, that was very...
Yeah, that is true.
And I enjoyed that.
'Cause it was
that.
survival kind of like base.
If we're doing a survival thing, I do like it. But if we're doing like...
a story-driven kind of like
then
narrative.
it is boring.
Yeah. It does get tedious for sure. I just liked it because it hit like a nostalgia area right in my tummy, where it's like, oh yeah, I remember when like we would like, oh yeah, we gotta make sure to get a 10-foot pole. Yeah, we're gonna need like lights.
Man, you still gotta have that 10-foot pole in any D&D game. Level 1 through 5, you can use the shit of a 10-foot pole.
Get some rope. Man, I really want silk rope. It's lighter, but man, that shit is expensive for a level 1 character. I guess I'll go hemping. So. There's a lantern, which I discovered, which does work for, you only have to light it once and you're good.
See, that's good with me.
It's more expensive.
Or like in Legend of Zelda, like, let me just find the lantern, use it once to light up a room. Okay. In Zelda, it was still a little tedious, having to switch out items. Okay, do this. Okay, now switch back. But still.
Okay, so we talked about the overhead mode in town. We talked about the first-person view in the wilderness and in dungeons. As you're wandering around in first-person mode, random encounters will happen.
A lot.
Did you feel like they were excessive?
I feel like it was a really high encounter rate.
Yeah.
For something that is as involved as it is. Like if something like Suikoden can get away with having a higher encounter rate because battles are lightning fast.
Yeah.
You can end that shit, hit auto twice, 2 turns, you're done, keep going. But this, you see the enemy pop up. Okay, you look at the enemy. Okay, you go to the other screen, and then it's a gangbang.
It's usually like 12 enemies, and you're like in the middle, and they start out surrounding you.
Yeah, because you start in the middle of the screen.
I feel
it's cool that you were running because you go on a not 2D, but you're on a. How would you describe the view in battle?
Oh, in battle mode? In battle mode, it's almost like a side-scrolling beat-em-up.
Yeah.
Where it's like not completely profile, but it's like in between like a straight-on side shot and isometric.
Yeah, because then I guess it does look more like Legend of Zelda. Then you go and like, enemies are all over and you're swinging your sword trying to kill all the enemies. It's very easy to die.
It's like Zelda with like a 3/4 kind of view.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is easy to die because they do start you out just in the middle of monsters.
And you can run, which is cool. Like you just run off the side of the screen and you get out of the battle.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah,
I think that's cool.
that's cool.
But man, it's just hard. Like you get time. Your sword is very short.
Right. Oh, really short. By sword you mean your blue stick.
Like your dildo bat. So,
I mean, it's a very short blue stick.
Yeah, your pocket knife that you're swinging around.
Which the sprite doesn't switch out if you change your weapon, which I was bummed out about because I was like, that seems like an easy decision where it's like, oh, you get a more powerful sword. What if it increases the length of your weapon? Like what? Because like you're actively swinging at enemies. What if it was something that made it easier because you spent money on a new sword? No, it looks the same. It swings the same. It's essentially just going to deal more damage when you hit with it.
Yeah, and the enemies get tougher, so then it's still just get a better sword so you can keep up.
And that's standard RPG fare.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, that I can't really fault Sword of Vermilion for because that is like, that's stamped, ingrained.
If I could have the option of a longer sword for more reach but less damage, so then you have to. But once you get in battle, like you're locked into whatever you have because you can't. I feel like magic is super important because like if you buy the Ferris spell that makes a flame go around you,
that orbits you,
which is cool, and that actually does give you reach.
Yeah,
makes the shit a lot easier.
Right, because it extends out farther than your sword does.
But you can't change once you get in. You can't change your spell. You can only have one spell at a time. Can't change out in battle. Can't use potions in battle when you get hurt. Like just swing away until like if you're about to die and try to run away.
Like in Signs, just swing away.
Swing away.
Spoilers. If you haven't,
I thought about that movie in a while.
If you haven't seen Signs, don't because it's awful. But spoilers. I didn't like Signs.
I didn't either. I don't like anything that's M. Night Shyamalan except for Sixth Sense and Unbreakable.
Oh yeah, man, I need to rewatch Unbreakable. It's been a long time. I wish you would have stopped where it's like I don't like anything.
I don't like anything, Dave. I don't like anything that anybody else likes.
That's not true.
That's not true. That's not me at all.
It is not.
Oh, what other notes do I have?
You want to talk about the last mode?
Oh, yeah, bosses,
which the mode changes again. And this is like a straight up like profile shot.
Yeah.
And
You're locked in straight up side scroller.
I don't understand why they needed two different modes for regular battle and boss battle. Like, other than maybe to set it apart. Because
So I guess they want to make it feel more epic because the bosses do look cool.
Yeah.
I mean, they're usually, the one I got to is a large dragon.
Right.
So
Same here. That looks like, that part reminded me of ActRaiser. That looked like the
you're
platforming
right.
parts of
It
ActRaiser
does.
to me. I'm going to go ahead and put this on the record. This game is worse than ActRaiser.
yeah. No, I'm with you 100%.
Because ActRaiser is a game. Oh man, I hope I'm not contradicting a statement I made when we talked about the game ActRaiser, but I liked ActRaiser.
About the Book of Acts, yeah.
Yeah.
But this, because you can't use magic in boss mode, which I think is fucking stupid.
Yes, it is.
And it's just, you sort of like, because you're in your full plate with your sword and you're kind of doing like this Michael Jackson lean back thing, and then you can scoot forward and backwards while the enemies are trying to fuck you up. Like, I mean, I guess they spent all the memory they had allotted for boss battles on the way it looks, because like boss battles suck. So like it looks good, but that's all I can say about it.
All right, we got all the modes covered. We're out of the modes woods.
Modes out of modes woods.
Yeah.
What do you think about the music?
Dude, I love the music.
Yeah.
I really loved the music. It is not appropriate to the game.
Thank you. I like the music too, but it's never thematically appropriate.
No, never. And it's like the music in the first village, which I think is called Wycliffe.
Jean?
I know. It's like, I'm pretty sure that's the name of it. It's like this epic music. It's like this, not just epic, it's like almost like ominous, villainous music. And it's like, doom, doom, doom. It's like this very heavy.
It's like going up Kefka's tower.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's like the beginning of the game. And it's like all of the music, like, and the music resets like when you go into a house. So like there's a moment where I go into an NPC's house and the music starts and it's like, am I going to murder this woman who's in the house? Because that's what it sounds like is going to happen.
Because at the beginning you get that sort of vignette about the evil emperor from another land coming in, killing everybody, and the king gives his son to his servant, take him and raise him as your own. And then suddenly now you're the son, I don't know how old you are, of age, and then you just plunked down the middle, and then you're supposed to, the objective
Figure
one
it out.
that you don't know.
I know.
Yeah. You have to wander into a house, find your dying dad who's like, not your real dad. You're a son of a king. Go get the rings. Okay.
That's it.
Yeah.
Dude, you just made me feel so much better because I felt like a huge dummy because if you watch the stream, you'll see me probably wander around the first fucking village for like 25 minutes.
And you have no,
like,
you have no indication.
What do I do? And I'm like going to the graveyard, like, did they bury him already? I don't. And it's like, this is like typical like RPG frustration for me, where it's like, if this were real life or D&D, I could ask an NPC, well, first of all, I would know where I fucking live.
Yep.
Point one. Second point, even if I, for some reason, did not know where I lived, I could go up to any villager and be like, excuse me, where do I live?
I've been in some sort of an accident.
Yes, exactly.
Where do I live? Oh, you live in the house where your dying father is. You better get over there.
Please, where is that? Because, yeah, I love it. Like, all of them are speaking in riddles, essentially. Like, all I want to know is just where do I live? And everyone's like, oh, you better go visit your dad. Where?
Some people you meet aren't people. Okay.
But I love the music. To answer your question, I loved every bit of it. I thought it sounded great for the Genesis, too. Because, like, on the Genesis, I'm used to this, like, really tinny, not robust, just flat music. But I felt like this game, this music had some.
It was good, just not appropriate for anything.
It was very, very late 80s, early 90s, and I think that's what I liked about it too.
Okay.
Even like the intro is very like Hercules or Xena, where it's just like, you know, lightning crashes, and it's like Sword of Vermilion, like phases in.
Back when the gods were cruel and petty and played with men's fates. Then came Hercules.
Like I could even see like I could even hear in my mind, like when the title comes up, I could hear like Sword of Vermilion.
The opening screen looks good.
I mean, yeah, it does.
Here's my other note complaining about the sub menu. When you go into a dungeon, you find a treasure chest. Okay, go down to open, and you'll find whatever's in it, but you don't automatically take it. You have to then open up the menu and go to the take option.
I know. Can I tell you how many times I walked away from an open treasure chest? By the way, in case you were wondering, those chests automatically shut back. So I had to reopen the chest, remember to take it, whatever the candles or whatever was inside.
So it's a product of its time. If you got it in its time, I'm sure you'd love it. But after its time is over, it's incredibly hard to go back to.
What's the green shit on everybody's face? Did you notice that?
Moss.
It's
I don't know.
Everyone's got a bad case of moss face.
Yep. The king took over, and we have to we're all his chia pets. We have to put seeds on our face and grow them.
They say when your father Blade is dying, it's not from a vampire bite.
King Eric's son or favorite servant Blade.
You seem like a trustworthy fellow. When like he's dying, they don't really tell you, like the only thing they say he's died from is like wounds he incurred from a war long ago.
And he got bad like real quick, nothing we could do about it.
I think it was all the moss on his fucking face. I think that whole village of Wycliffe was in trouble.
We all have black mold in our houses very badly,
Yes.
and we all died about the same time. Got any achievements for this game?
I do have some achievements. Do you?
I do. I have 2.
You want to go back and forth? I'll start.
Okay.
My first achievement is if I had $1,000,000. And in order to unlock, if I had $1,000,000, you max out your Kim. Which Kim is what they call money in this game for an undetermined reason. I feel like
it was to appease Kim Jong-Un of North Korea.
I'm so glad you said that. I have a feeling that the lead developer's like wife or daughter was named Kim or something, and like he was like, "Oh, we're calling money Kim in this game," and everyone just kind of like is looking around.
His mistress was like, "You never acknowledge me.
Yeah.
Fine. I'll sneak you into my game, baby. Just watch for it."
What do you have achievement, Tyler?
My first one is the 14 sacred stars against evil for great justice across the great lands of Excalabria. And you unlock the 14 sacred stones against evil for great justice over the great lands of Excalabria by going to all 14 towns.
That's a fucking feat right there. I have my second achievement. I'd like to thank Overseas Philip for giving me the name. This achievement is called Candle in the Wind. And in order, there's a theme here. I don't know if you noticed. It's a singing theme. I've been really into singing recently, Tyler. I don't know if
You should.
Yeah.
You should be.
In order to unlock Candle in the Wind,
There you go. That's good.
you have to enter a dungeon, use a candle to light the dungeon, and then accidentally exit the dungeon, thus snuffing out your candle, which I did like twice. Because how fucked up is this? When you enter the dungeon, you're facing the exit of the dungeon.
Well, you walk in back first. You don't know what's coming in behind you.
So if you go forward, you exit the dungeon. That like little thing is just like, why? Like the Jackie Chan, like, why?
Oh, it's
I wasted so many fucking candles
shit.
doing that shit. And then when I go back in, I have to light another fucking candle.
There's 10 Kim gone.
That's an achievement right there. 10 Kim gone.
And then you also unlock Candle to Win if you kill a princess. My second achievement is That's Some Zelda Shit. And you unlock That's Some Zelda Shit by getting the Wisdom Ring.
All right. That makes fucking perfect sense. I have a third achievement.
Good.
That is not a song because I came with it on the fly. It's called Goatsy. And if for anyone who's not familiar with Goatsy, I'll have a link to that in the show notes. Do not click that at work. In order to unlock,
If your boss has already caught you playing Pokemon Go, fucking go for it.
no, there's a level. There are several levels of difference. In order to unlock Goatsy, you need to speak to a man. Go up to a man and you open the menu, and instead of talk, you choose open. That's how you unlock.
So that would make
Goatsy.
this game awesome if you could do all the options
Do
on
all of them.
everything.
I know. Like if you go up to an NPC and you choose search, and it just gives you like a page of description.
Their inventory.
This weathered gentleman cocks a smirky at you as you approach. His dusty coat indicates that he's well traveled. However, his spectacles belie unexpected intelligence.
Uncanny intelligence.
It doesn't let you skip it. It like scrolls out slowly.
Music changes. You go to talk to a treasure chest. Oh, no one ever talks to me. No one asks my opinion.
That would be a cool Easter egg if it's just one chest. We'll do that.
Well, I'm a very tame mimic. I won't hurt you. I'm glad you spoke to me.
I'm chesty.
Said Taryn Landon. Oh,
Tyler,
yes, Dave.
I got a couple questions for you.
Hear that dog?
I do. I don't know if the mics hear the dog or not. That's not Nana's dogs. That's a different dog.
Nope.
I have a couple questions for you. The first of which is, if you were to give this game a beard that sums up how you feel about it, what kind of beard would you give it?
I would have to give this game it is the neck beard of the man who runs the either knife throwing or shuriken throwing booth at a Ren fair.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
How about axe?
Or axe
as well?
Yep.
Okay.
So that was the 3 whenever I went to the 1.
That is a trifecta.
Yep.
That's the Ren Fair throwing shit trifecta for sure. Tyler.
Yeah, I got some real Japanese throwing stars here at the Ren fair. Go ahead. Go
Yeah,
ahead and throw
man.
those.
Yeah, man. Just grab you a cloak full of those and throw them at this board, man.
You're gonna suck. Go ahead.
Excuse me. Did you say grab a clunk full?
That's what you call a group of shuriken, a clunk.
What's wrong, man? What you take me for? Some kind of carny? Yeah. Yeah.
I'm gonna get my whole parliament of carnies come and whoop your ass. A what? That's what you call a group of carnies. We're a parliament. We're like owls.
Tyler,
Yes, Dave.
if you were to give this game a pair of glasses that sums up how you feel about it, what kind of glasses would you give it?
I'd have to give this the helmet visor of the knight that is forced to joust who has to lose.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Like in A Knight's Tale.
Because at the one I went to in Maryland, like they had the big jousting competitions, which sounds cool, and you see it, and it's not at all.
Oh, jousting competitions?
Yeah, I thought it
no,
was
they're boring.
super
as fuck.
boring.
Yeah, they're super boring.
Not like Game of Thrones.
No,
There's nobody chopping the heads off horses.
no, and no one's actually at risk of dying, which I gotta admit.
Where's the 8-foot tall man chopping horses in half?
Do you think? Okay, I don't think I've been to a Renaissance festival since Game of Thrones came out. Do you think that Renaissance festivals up to their
man.
game since Game of Thrones? Like, do you think like the troops? Is it a troop that puts on a? I don't know. What do you call
makes it- it makes
someone
sense.
who organizes? I don't know. But do you think they're like, fuck, we
we
have
gotta up our
got
game.
to up our game?
Man, I guess certain ones, the ones who could afford it probably could.
Can we get some titties out or something?
Somebody get some winches just pulling it out.
Just
go
please.
ahead, do a brothel tent. It's fine. Blowjobs only. We're classy. Kids are here. Blowjobs only.
Must wear cock socks. We are classy.
Please keep to the theme. Lambskin only.
Tyler,
Yes, Dave.
I got another question for you. I want to know how much this game is on Amazon. If you were to buy it now, used on Amazon, how much do you think you would pay for it?
$28.
Tyler, actual retail value of Sword of Vermilion used for the Sega Genesis at the time of this recording is $7.99.
Wow.
This is a budget game.
Yeah, I thought it'd be more. Okay, I'm interested in I wonder how much a new copy is, just because I know that it also came with a hint book that was like too big to fit inside the case, so it was like packaged to the back of it,
which had maps and everything.
Yeah.
I meant to look that up before I started playing the game, but guess who forgot because he was too busy muting his microphone and having the wrong box art up on the stream. The same guy who got in trouble at work for leaving to catch a Squirtle.
The cheeseburger eater. Yeah.
Yes. You're a bespectacled host. You're a dummy bespectacled host.
I'm really glad you do the Twitch feed though. People enjoy it.
Yeah, I'm glad. That makes me feel good for someone to be like, hey, I like this thing.
Yeah. The thing that you do.
Oh, cool.
How much is it? Is there a new copy listed on Amazon?
I didn't see a new one.
Oh.
So
okay.
I didn't see one shrink wrapped. Shrunk wrapped. Done shrunked.
Before I forget, I have a note here because I want to make sure I think, because I always mean to and I forget. But when I get a game gifted to me on Steam, it always excites me, and I add it to my library. And I don't want to send them a message. Like, I need to say it on the air. Think them on the air.
Can I
then
guess?
I forget.
Can I guess?
Sure.
I guess you're going to thank Sandwich Pope Phil.
He's one of them, yes.
He told me that he got you Chronicles of Mystara.
He did.
Which is exciting because I want to play that game.
Yeah, now enough of us have it to play it. But I want to thank Soul Sister Yarn Sorceress, Pokemon 153 Chantricorn, because she has bought me games. I want to thank Ruby Baron Paul Kluhl, because he has bought me games, and Sandwich Pope Phil, because they are the frequent people who I pop up and I will see there's something in your Steam inventory.
Yes, absolutely. Those are three extremely generous people who have also, over the period of time that we've been doing the show, have bought games for me as well. So thank you very much.
Yeah.
Tyler.
Yes.
I have a quiz.
Yeah.
However, I'd like to close the show out first, and then I'll like to give you the quiz.
Okay.
I want to end on the quiz. Is that feasible? Can we do that?
That's totally fine.
Just change it up.
Yeah. Thanks for listening. You can find the show on SoundCloud, iTunes, Stitcher.
Yeah.
So don't miss the next episode.
I want to talk about that arcade expo.
Yeah.
So that's what you can expect. Unless I die, unless 580 murders me at the expo, then you'll just hopefully hear Tyler kind of mournful.
Yeah, pretty mournful. Pretty mournful.
A little relieved.
Yeah.
But mainly relieved, but a little mournful.
And then start the star search for Dave's replacement. Must change your name to Dave to fit Tadpog.
That could be a fun contest.
Hey, if you want to help us out, we have all sorts of stuff that we need reviews on. So if you, of the copious things where you can go and leave 5-star written reviews, go and do that. We've got iTunes, you got Stitcher, you got Amazon where you can find our shirts.
Yeah.
So,
And our shorts.
And yeah,
Just kidding.
that'd be nice. I wish we had
We need some
Tadpog shorts.
Oh, yeah. Like embroidered, like our logo embroidered on on jorts.
I remember my jean shorts that I had a pair that were half white and half green that I wore a lot.
Wow.
Yeah. With my red and blue long sleeve hooded shirt.
Nice. You know what we should get? I think of this only because a coworker mentioned to me today how cool he thought Bart Simpson was when The Simpsons was new. And he had shades. He had Bart Simpson shades. He said that were purple. And there was Bart Simpson on the lens of the glass. Like he said it was a white Bart Simpson that was just on the lens of the sunglasses. So I'm like, oh man, that sounds ridiculous. He left and I immediately eBayed it. Because I was like, can I find this thing? What can I find? I found it. Here's the problem. I could only buy it in a big lot of like 100 and they want $75 for it. So I can't tell you how tempted I am to buy the full bag and just like pour them out on his desk. So when he comes into work, there's just Bart Simpson shades everywhere.
That could be whenever you come to Tadpog prom. Like here's your pair of Bart Simpson.
Complimentary Bart Simpson shades.
First 100 people get Bart Simpson sunglasses.
I'm sorry, you were trying to do an outro. I just wanted to share that.
So if you want to help us out, leave us a 5-star review somewhere. Send us a message on Facebook or Twitter. Get in contact with us if there's a game you want us to play, a guest host you want for an episode or a Patreon request. Just get it to us, and we promise we will get to that eventually.
Don't worry, guys. Like Tyler said, we're going to be back. We're going to be talking about stuff, In the meantime, you can always find us on tadpog.com. That's where the show notes live.
Tadpog.com?
I know. I totally said cum, didn't I?
You did.
Tyler, I got cum on the brain.
We got to change our URL because that's better.
Yeah. If I were like the operation man, the board game operation, like that would be one of the things. Like, oh, I got to remove this cum on the brain. It's really hard to do.
It's bigger than the hole.
Yeah.
Or it's an actual liquid. When you try and pull it out.
We're going to have to go up the nose, pull this out. We're going to have to go mummification on this. In the meantime, you can always find us on tadpog.com. That's where the show notes live. Or you can find us on Facebook. We're at facebook.com/tadpog. Hey, like us on Facebook. We asked for that on a recent episode and people did it. So thank you. Please do that more. We like it when that happens because it makes us feel important. It helps us get press passes. We'll put it that way. You can also find us on Twitter. We are at tadpog_podcast. It is cumbersome, I realize. A sincere thank you to everybody who retweets us, especially our episode announcements, because they really do help get the word out. You can find us on Patreon. We have some Patreon donors who are very remarkable people that humble me on a daily basis by opening their wallets and showing their appreciation.
Telling you how shitty you are.
Yeah,
they really humble me by keeping me grounded.
Bro, I can't believe you almost got fired over Pokemon Go.
Check your privilege, shitlord.
Yeah. So if you'd like to donate, feel free to at patreon.com/tadpog. Kick in $1 at least, and you get access to all our bonus episodes that we've done and will do in the future.
There'll eventually be tiers up there.
Yeah. This is a thing we talk about regularly,
Yep.
but never actually sit down and plan out.
We've got a lot of it. We just need to sit down and do it.
It is very true. All of our time.
Not just outlandish ones, but like actual ones. We will do Jankum sometime.
Oh yeah, we'll bottle our own Jenkum, but there are actually real obtainable ones as well. I'd like to take a moment to thank Douglas from Better Made, who is continuing to conduct that 2 penny a train, 2 penny an episode train.
Yeah,
Douglas, thank you very much, very much appreciated. I'd also like to thank Exalted Lord Mike of Purdue, aka Micah Purdue, who is riding out that penny train. Every time we do an episode, he donates a penny. So Micah, thank you very much. And that's all I've got for now. So thank you guys. We appreciate it.
Let's see if you want to send us anything.
Yeah, we have a PO box.
If you want to have basically your package as an intro, you can send that to Tadpog Studios, care of Nicole and Nance. P.L. Box 3785, Paducah, Kentucky 42002. You can also find that in the show notes. So you don't have to write it down. Just go to the show notes.
Don't write it down. Just go to tadpog.com. It's right there. If you would like to leave us a voicemail, you can do it. You can call us at 270-883-2555. You can also send a text, but I promise I'll fuck it up.
There's Instagram, tadpog_podcast on Instagram. I need to get back on that. It's been a few days since I put anything up. But I'll do that. Is that it?
That's it.
Oh, our theme on moves by Sigmar Drive, like that track with the How would you close this out, Dave?
I would like to close it out like, oh man, I didn't think about it. How about King Arthur?
Okay. So until next time, Tropical Capricorn.
Wow.
With Sean Connery just a bit.
That was good. Like, I felt like, man, we could do if we could go back in time, we could do voice work.
We could both be
Warcraft
King
too.
Arthurs. We go back far enough.
The Kings!
King's
Arthurs.
Arthur. Be like a kid in King Arthur's court. That'd be both of us.
2 kids in King Arthur's court. That's the sequel. Did you know?
Oh.
Tyler,
Yes, Dave.
here's my quiz. It's called. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
It's called Kim Jong-Il or Lil Kim.
Ooh.
All right, here we go. I need to know. I'm going to ask you a question, and I need to know if it's Kim Jong-Il or if it's Lil Kim.
Okay.
I'm going to let you know this up front. I'm going to choose one gender pronoun to use, and I'm also going to choose one verb tense to use. So just because
half of these are in Korean.
Yeah.
Lil Kim does speak Korean, so it's not a giveaway.
All right, Tyler. Ting dong ting. That's racist. And I'm sorry.
Yep.
But I thought it might be funny. And you're laughing, so it makes it okay.
Well, it's racism.
Yeah.
It's fine.
So here we go. Tyler is 5'2".
Lil Kim.
Kim Jong-Il.
Oh, damn.
Lil Kim is 4'11".
Okay. Damn.
Just to prove I did my fucking research. Granted, I did it when I was taking a poop earlier.
How are her legs not broken?
Oh, well. All right, Tyler.
Mm-hmm.
Second question. Known to travel by private train.
Kim Jong-un. Kim Jong-il.
Kim Jong-il.
Okay.
Correct.
So I think, what's the infrastructure like in North Korea? They probably have trains.
That's a good way of thinking. All right. Number 3. Has composed operas.
Kim Jong-il.
Correct.
I know the tales of the great leader.
Drinks $600,000 worth of cognac each year.
Lil Kim.
Incorrect.
Damn. Damn.
Kim Jong-il. Who's
Wow.
racist now?
Damn. Yeah. Yep.
Committed perjury in front of a federal grand jury.
Lil Kim.
That is Lil Kim.
Kim Jong-il is the judge, jury, and executioner, so he can't do it.
That's also good logic. Sound logic. I wouldn't say good logic. Sound logic is more fitting.
It was racist on a Lil Kim drink on the gun.
Without even skipping a beat.
Yeah,
Lil Kim.
Lil
Like
Kim.
you are 100% confident on that one.
Final answer.
Lil Kim. Locked in. All right, next question. Was the villain of a movie released in 2004?
Kim Jong-il.
Yes. Can you name the movie?
Team America?
Yes. Is a fan of multicolored wigs.
Both.
I'm sorry, our judges say you need to give us, you need to choose.
Lil Kim.
It is Lil Kim, although I really wish it was Kim Jong-il. All right, Tyler, last question. Favorite movies include Rambo and Friday the 13th.
Kim Jong-il.
Correct. You're very good at this game.
I know my dictators and racial stereotypes.
That's all right. I was racist a little bit. You were racist a little bit. We evened it out, which makes it not racist.
Right.
I don't know if you know
two
the
white
rules.
people are racist, it means no one's
It evens
racist.
it out. It just like, yeah. That's how we maintain what we call equilibrium.